Today's Mishnah is sponsored by Ricky Neumann, in memory of her father Moshe Vafni. Moshe ben Yoel v'Sarah. Moshe fell in the 6-day war, and it's an honor to dedicate our learning in his memory. To sponsor a day of learning, send me an email.
Okay, we're on Sheviit, Perek Zayin, Mishnah Daled. Fourth Mishnah of the 7th chapter of Sheviit. It says, in the last Mishnah we learned that a person is asur. You're not allowed to do schora, i.e. business, with Perot Sheviit. You can't sell them with Perot Sheviit. You can't have a business, schora, okay? Have a business of a barter or trade or what have you with things that are prohibited from eating. So our mission is a continuation and discusses what happens if a situation arises where, it's not a business, but you want to sell something. Do you have to eat it, or the labdabka eat it, not really, or throw it away, not sell it, or can you sell it in a temporary manner, in a chatpam, in a single use manner? It says the Mishnah, let's say you bought a bechor for your son's wedding. Mishteh is generally a party for your son. Or for Yom Tov lo tzarich lo. So the Safrai says, he notes that it's clear that the coin, he was permitted to sell it. He didn't make a business out of it. The guy gave him the bechor, and he can't eat it. He doesn't want to eat it. He has too much. The animal, he can't hold on. Let's say you got 5 bechor. Great. He can eat 1, but he's not really supposed to hold on to them because either they'll get blemished, or, if they have a blemish, there's an issue of gizah and avodah and chilul of the kiddush bechorah. So the obvious solution is for him to sell it. He's not making a business out of it, but he has the right to sell it because he doesn't want to keep these animals in any way. So a guy bought it because the guy said, you know what? It's mutar lechulin. I'm going to shecht it today. Okay? So I'm going to go buy a bechor for my son's wedding. And we go to shecht it, and I come home, and my wife also bought an animal. Oh, what? You bought the animal too? What are we going to do? So do I have to slaughter it, or do I have to waste the money? So the Mishnah says, the Mishnah in this case, no. Mutar lechor. I'm allowed to sell it. I.e., that which we learned in the last Mishnah of Sechorah, that's i.e. that exactly what the Mishnah says, business. I can't make a business out of it. I'm not making tons of money because I'm in the business of selling bechorot, because people like those animals. But I'm allowed to sell it on a one-time basis. Similarly, Sadeh Chayava Ofot. I'm trapping chaya animals and birds, vidagim, and fish. So I put out my net in the Kinneret, Shnizam them, and I caught a bunch of shrimp, or I caught a bunch of crabs, or I caught a bunch of catfish. So do I have to throw away the catfish? Says the Mishnah, no, mutarim l'machram. I'm allowed to sell them. Why? Because I don't have to lose money on it. The Bartanura says something very interesting. Okay? In the case of the bechor, you have to sell it for what you bought it for. It's part of scharaz, meaning you don't have to lose money, but you don't make a profit. Whereas in the case of the fisherman who caught the lobster or the catfish, he says you can sell them. Why? Because it says about a nevela, you can sell it to a goy. Halo asra Torah, the Torah only forbade lekaiman, to keep them, la'asod behem schora, to do business with them. But if it happenstance, if it came up, then it's mutar. And this is similarly why. Let's say an animal is slaughtered in a kosher slaughterhouse, and it's a nevela or a treifa. Obviously, you're not trying to sell nevelot to treifa. But if you have a nevela, you don't have to eat the loss. You don't have to lose all that money. It would make it prohibitive to have kosher slaughter. And in that case, that's why basically every kosher slaughterhouse sells its non-kosher animals off to non-Jews who don't care. Rabbi Yehuda says, "Af mishnit manalo lefi darko." Even someone nitmana lo lefi darko. He happens upon a non-kosher animal. Okay, or like I'm not a fisherman. I'm not a regular fisherman. He put out a net. I went fishing, a regular guy, and I caught some catfish. I get back to the pier. I want to sell them. Am I allowed to or not? I.e., was this heter specifically for tzadei chayava, for people whose business that it was, and therefore they're engaged in a regular basis, and we don't want to make them lose, or is it anybody? So Rabbi Yehuda says it's anybody, and according to Rabbi Yehuda, very interesting. According to Rabbi Yehuda, I don't deal in pork belly futures. What if a really good deal came up, and I can make a ton of money on pork bellies right now? Am I allowed to do it or not? So Rabbi Yehuda says, "Mishnit manalo lefi darko." Yeah, somebody came to me and offered me a deal. Okay, I can buy and sell. Ubilvad shalote umanuto bakach. As long as it's not your umanut. Interesting question. A stockbroker selling pork bellies. I don't know. The Chachamim, most of the Chachamim say no. Chachamim say it's not permitted. The Chachamim are more machmir and say the heter was only for tzayadim, for trappers who are involved in this in an ongoing basis. Okay? And the Yerushalmi says the reason why they were permitted to do this is because they had to pay mas, because that was their profession, so they had to pay taxes. So in order to lighten their burden, their tax burden, Chachamim permitted them to pay with the money that they profited from the non-kosher animals that they caught. Whereas a regular person, if you don't have to pay the regular fishing taxes, so you caught a catfish, throw it back. We'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, rspalter@gmail.com, and we'll dedicate the learning to the memory of my father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.